Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Learn from how women have showed interest in you. Learn from how they've showed interest in you. Now, very often I spoke about getting a tribe. And I said the tribe were the women who like you naturally. And of course, a lot of people will invariably say, well, how can I figure out my tribe? How can I figure out my tribe? Here's how. Don't look at the women, but look at how they respond to you in different modes, in different ways of dressing. And if you're a man who invariably says, well, women ain't interested in me, because whenever I talk about that, men will say that, then apparently there's something about you that they don't like. You got to look in the mirror for that too. You got to look at yourself, because the only thing a woman's going to have in common is you. So you got to look at yourself and say, okay, all right, well, you got to start first with your own physical appearance. You got to start with your physical appearance. Now, you can't, then don't just be on some, well, he was I'm ugly or something like that. No, stop. Because your facial structure, you can only control it so much. But then what is the rest of you? And plus, how come somebody else who probably looks roughly the same is getting women? See, you got to think about what is it, because the way women looking at a man, they're looking at the whole package. Now, if you have a jacked up haircut and you're not getting women, okay, look at that. Then, okay, change it, let the barber bless you, let the barber hook you up with different looks and stuff, and then see how it works for you. You know, you keep having them hook you up until you figure out what works. And then, you know, you look at your skin, look at your body, look at your beard. If you have one without a beard, figure out which one works for you. Figure all of that out. Then you look at your body builder. I talk about body game, but see, let me be clear about body game, because you get some guys and they'll say, well, you just have to be lean. No, that's one type of body. Women like different bodies. Like I said, when I had my stroke roughly a year ago, and I lost a lot of weight, there were a lot of guys who were saying, oh yeah, Uncle Rom, yeah, he lost that weight. The women were like, oh, Rom, you need a cheeseburger. They weren't calling me uncle because they looking at me for other things. So women, figure out what body type women like on you. So some of you might have to lose some weight. Some of you might have to put on some weight, you know? You don't worry about what it does for the next man. You gotta worry about what happens with you. And then what type of clothes you wearing? Are you wearing like polos like this? Or are you wearing ordinary clothes? Do you have to dress up more to get women? Look at your shoes. Look at your clothing. Look at your overall appearance. If you're not getting a woman based on your appearance, you can change that. But then, what's your attitude? Your attitude is very important. Because are you one of those guys who just come up to women and, you know, you like, oh, hey, how you doing? Or you like, hey, how you doing today? You know, you got to look at your approach. You got to look at, are they approaching you? You got to look at all of that little stuff, you know? Then you can start figuring it out. You know, you can start figuring out. Every guy can figure out something. And like I said earlier, if you ain't getting nothing, then you got to look in the mirror. It ain't the women. Because you don't have control over the women. Like I will talk about on my Sovereign Saturdays, you got 100% control over yourself. So control what you can. But then don't worry about the rest. All right? That's how you figure out which women are in your tribe. Because the reason that they are attracted to you is because of whatever it is about your body. It is whatever you're wearing. Could be whatever your social class is. You got to pay attention to that. You know, are you a good Christian or a good Muslim? You know, good African traditionalist, somebody, and you are attracting those women. Okay, that's attracting them. What social class are you in? Are you attracting women who are mostly working class? Are you working class? You know? Or are you attracting women who are bougie, upper middle class, or rich? Are you rich? You got to look at all of those factors and say, okay, that's my tribe. That's my group. And you can't, and like I said, you can't blame the women because see, here's the reason. The only thing they have in common is you. Only thing they have in common is you. So you got to look at yourself and say, okay, what is it about me that I can change, or what type of women am I getting? And indeed, sometimes you can get different types of women. I've mentioned several times this wheelchair athlete that I knew. And this dude, he couldn't walk. He was a brother, he couldn't walk. But I remember, I never forget what he said to me. He said when he shaves his mustache, he gets the white women. When he lets his mustache grow out, he gets the black women. See, he had figured out, okay, what appearance gets what women. See, once you figure that out, then you have control over what type of women you get. Like if you are that type and you get a bunch of women who are more ratchet, more lower class and everything, but then you dressed a certain way, you look in a certain way, you can change that. All you have to do is change how you're dressing. You can change how you're looking. Indeed, that's just a part of it. That's just a part of it. Because then what's your attitude? Are you one of those types who are more like go get it, or are you one of those types who want to sit back? You're going to get different types. See, you can ultimately figure out your own game. But see, you have control over it. All you have to do is pay attention. All right, when that woman when you're approaching women, okay, say you one of those types, you approaching women all the time. What did you have on during that time? How did you approach? Where were you? You got to look at all of that. Or you that type who say, nah, I'm going to let them come to me. Okay, what did you have on? What was your attitude? What were you dressing like? What type of shoes you had on? You pay attention to all of that. Because one of the things I like to say is if you get one woman, you can get 1,000. And I want y'all to think about that. See, you have control over it. You can figure out your tribe. And I've had a lot of guys figure out their tribes. And like I said, I'm going to say it one more time for the guys that say, well, nobody approaches me. Okay, well, you have to look at yourself in the mirror. You have to look, you're going to have to change some stuff. It's that plain and simple, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for right now. You know, I might or might not do a car video. So that's all I have for right now. And I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.